about some of the people you've dated and you're so in love with them, and then you realize in hindsight, what was wrong with me? You were like hypnotized. And that's what Sigmund Freud said. He said love is often, for many people, like hypnosis. Everyone else sees that you're dating an idiot, but you're like hypnotized, like, no, they're awesome. Same thing, if you're not careful, you're gonna build a business, let's say you're selling the wrong product, and you're gonna get like hypnotized, like, no, I should be selling, whiteboard markers. And you're gonna build this whole business and you're gonna go, and then you realize, oh, I should have sold glasses, or I should have sold t-shirts online. So this I'll get into more later. You just have to understand that the heart is right about 50% of the time. So if you always go by your heart, it's like flipping a coin. Half the time you're gonna make big mistakes. Half the time you'll be good. And part of what you have to learn, especially in making money online, is when to flip the coin over the heart and when to flip it over logic. But the reason I put this rule is there's 25 emotional mistakes we make. There's not just one or two. There's literally reward, pain, content fairness, urgency, association, availability, chemical bond. I'll go through them later. I'm not going to get super into that in this program, but okay. And then the third thing that's really important, you need to have the it factor, man. When it all comes down to, and this is emotional, there's some people that are going to take this program and they're never going to succeed. And they're going to come and they're going to be like, Ty, I did your program and I never made one penny online. And if I met them in person, if I met you in person, the main thing I would think about is like, do they get it? Like, do they have it? What is it? Well, it's complicated. It's an emotional gut feeling. Have you ever met somebody and you're like, there's just something off in this person? Maybe they had a lot of trauma growing up, so they're overly fearful of everything. Or you meet somebody who has no fear and always jumps into idiotic decisions. They don't get it. They don't get life. And to make money online, you have to be a person. You don't have to be rich to start. About 1 year ago, I launched a different test group. It was for my social media marketing agency. And the first day, a whole bunch of people bought the program, a couple hundred or so, maybe even more. And one kid bought it. His name was Jaden. He was 21 years old. He'll actually be teaching some of the lessons in this. And he had never had a bank account before. He never he's a college dropout. He lived at home in Chicago with his dad. And literally, he'd never had a bank account. That's how little money he had. And then he sent me a screenshot 2 months later after being in the program, and he had made $30,000. And this year, it's been 1 year, I think he just made $1 million. I think he made around $1 million. And now he's making $140,000 a month. So what separated him from all the other people who went in the program? Now, other people have had success, but he's like the best of last year. There's another guy making 60 or 80,000. There's a handful of people making over 50,000 a month from scratch. There's a lot of people making 10, 20,000 and even more making like $1,000 a month. But the point is, like, what the heck does this kid have? And I've met him. You'll meet him in another one of these videos. He has this it factor. Like, it's hard to explain. You can't logically explain it, but you meet him and he maybe think of it this way. He has his head screwed on straight. For example, he's done some dumb stuff, and in person I've been like, dude, that was kind of stupid. He wasn't overly sensitive. That's part of the it factor. You ever met somebody who gets butthurt about everything you say, even if you're trying to constructively criticize them? If that's you, you're not going to make it. The biggest breakthroughs in my life and business, when I was making no money, when I was making under $100 a month, now I know how to make 100 grand a day. Back then, I didn't even know how to make 100 grand a month. I mean, $100 a month, 100. Now I've made 100 grand in an hour easily. I do that, not every day, but often. And people told me at certain times, dude, you're an idiot. Stop doing that. And if you don't have the it factor, there's something wrong with you. You're overly sensitive. You can't laugh at yourself. You can't make fun of yourself. You're either too depressed or too happy. Like, probably the best description is balanced. If you're balanced in life, I think you'll do okay. If you're balanced in this program, you probably have the it factor. If you're too extreme in anything, you're probably not going to make it, in my opinion, or you massively lower the chance. So whatever's in your brain, I know everybody got crazy things. I didn't have the best upbringing. My dad was in prison when I was born. I was raised by a single mom. I lived in a mobile home trailer for most of my teenage years. Like, I've been through BS, and you probably have. You got to learn to balance out your emotions. Don't be extreme. If you have a super temper, like, go to comedy clubs. Learn to chill. If you always are laughing, learn to take things seriously. If you are always fearful and you run through anxiety all the time, learn to let things go. If you never worry, learn to worry more. Trust me, you can go wrong in everything. There's an old verse in the Bible, and it says, there's a time to love and a time to hate. There's a time for war and there's a time for peace. There's a time, there's a winter and there's a summer. And that's how life is built. And to have the it factor, you must balance yourself out. Or else I've shown people how to make money and they've self-destructed. Like, they learn to make money online. They made 100 grand. They made $1 million. I know a guy here in LA. I won't say his name. He sold his company for $18 million when he was still in his 20s. 18 million bucks they wrote him a check for. Now, he had to pay the IRS and taxes about 5 million bucks. So he's left with 13 million. He bought a couple houses, a couple cars. He had $10 million still left in cash. Actually, about 9. A friend came to him and said, do you want to invest in some real estate? And this guy was my friend was too overly optimistic. And he's like, sure, I'll invest in real estate. He bought real estate in between Los Angeles and Vegas. There's a place called like Ziza. It's like all Z's. It's like desert. And his friend's like, this is the next big thing, man. So he put $1 million in. And then, this is back in 2007. And it didn't quite work out. So the guy's like, we need more money. This guy, my friend here in LA, put in all $9 million. And then guess what? 2008 recession came and he lost every penny. And he got to go back to a job. Imagine making $18 million and then having to get a regular 9-to-5 job. Why? Because he didn't really have the it factor. He got lucky and made 18 million, but he wasn't balanced. A balanced person would never take all their money and put it in real estate in the desert. Like, maybe you'll put $1 million in, and if you miss it, you still mess up, you still got 9 million. That's what I mean by the it factor. I've seen other people where they get corrected and but there was a guy, give you another example of somebody who doesn't have the it factor. There's somebody that I helped to make a lot of money. And then he made a video like talking crap about me. Okay? Why? Because that's how people are. Sometimes they don't want to admit that someone helped them. So today, I kid you not, this is so funny. A billionaire guy that I know contacted me and said, have you ever heard of this guy? And it was the guy who I helped and then who talked crap about me. Now, I'm not a vindictive person, so he goes, this billionaire goes, we'll call him Mr. X, the guy who talked crap about me. So this billionaire, I think he's a billionaire. He's very rich, built a huge brand. Texted me and said, do you know Mr. X? And I was like, to my cousin Maya, I'm like, oh man, I could be mean to this guy and be like, this guy's an idiot. Like, and tell him the whole story, and he'd lose that business opportunity with the billionaire. I didn't. I actually was like, talk to my cousin about it. I didn't even want to get in the middle. And my cousin we didn't talk crap back because I think that's like low energy, but we didn't say he's awesome. And he'll probably not get the deal with the billionaire. So that guy didn't have the it factor. He wasn't balanced emotionally. He got helped by somebody and he wasn't grateful. And you know what? Karma's a bitch. I've made mistakes and then karma comes around and bites you in the butt. And I'm not going to lie to the billionaire and be like, yes, this is my favorite guy. I didn't talk crap about him, but I didn't give him a positive recommendation. He didn't have the it factor and it's going to affect him. If he could have been partners with this billionaire, it would have helped him a lot. So stay balanced. Don't be overly vengeful. Don't be an asshole. Sometimes you get mad at people, but balance it out by sometimes being very kind. So that's the 3 things that I want you to remember. This will help you making money. As I told you, that guy that didn't have the it factor, the last person I told you about, he was already making probably 100 grand a month. If he had the it factor, he'd be making $1 million a month. So this will hold you back. Now, what logical stuff? So here's the logical stuff that I was telling you. One of them is just very simple. I already said it. Know when to override the heart. Sometimes your heart, the mind's going to have to come in and take over. I told you the police officer, there's a shooting, the police officer